last week when we did the podcast, Carmageddon, had talked about for all of a few seconds that I had played Overwatch for, I don't know, I had owned it for like 6 hours, and I gave a very, very brief kind of review of the game itself. So now I've had time to play it, and it's a very interesting type of game. Overall, I would say that the best part is probably the graphics and the music. The variety of characters is definitely a plus. However, in online multiplayer, it is very essential that you and your teammates get your shit together, because a lot of it is very tactical. So in Call of Duty and other games that have a lot of online gameplay, you typically have the opportunity to kind of have everybody do whatever the fuck they want, and as long as the team wins, nobody really cares. But with Overwatch, it is definitely not like that, and it really helps if you have at least one person from each category on that team. So I did learn that in playing it. I did not play against other people, so Monkey Paws is going to be covering that in her portion of the review. But in what I did play, I did like that in some cases you were paired up on the same team. So there is a play versus AI mode where you can play with other actual people on your team, but the entire team is playing against a team of computers. And in that, I want to say that we played probably like 5 matches, and so about halfway through you swap teams. So part of it you are defending and part of it you're capturing. And the part where you're capturing, like I want to say out of the 5 or 6 games that we played, we got on one team where the team was actually organized enough without speaking to each other to know that the sniper has a place that it needs to go. The Mercy Mercy or one of the guardian, the healers has a place where they need to go. And that was out of 5 matches. We only had one team that we got with, and then we got kicked out of that team. So because everybody left. But overall, I would say it's a pretty good game. It is all online multiplayer. There is no campaign for it. So I just kind of wanted to follow up on that a little bit because last week's was very vague.
My review of Overwatch is that I did play online against people and did online against AIs with a team. And we did find one team that, like she said, that had their stuff all together, that had a very good game plan, that knew everything, where tanks go for defense, where snipers win. And that's what this game is, and that's how this game, I think, was made to be. I really enjoy it. And the way I see it is that, yes, but each character has different skins, different abilities, different highlight, I guess, interest. I mean, you have so many unlocks that you can get that it doesn't really matter that you have all of the characters already. And I think that's great. I personally love having all of the characters out. Here's a room, rather than having, here's 4 people, you can unlock the rest later. Well, okay, what if I don't like the 4 that you gave me? I personally I have one person that I use out of each kind of, I guess, out of tanks, I guess soldiers, I guess is one way to put it. People, one person that I specifically go to for each thing. And yeah, I can see where people may not like it because there's no story. People don't need it. There was, in the commercials leading up to Overwatch, it kind of gave a brief story on it, in that all of these heroes were once this big group that saved the world, and then some of them turned into bad guys, and then they're fighting against each other. The good guys obviously fighting to save the world against their former friends. I mean, I wish there was a story to it. I don't need one because I enjoy the game just on multiplayer. And my whole thing is that I wish people that played this game wouldn't play it for themselves. They would play it as if they were playing on a team.
Right.
And they realized that. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't like multiplayer games. Is because everyone's in it for themselves. I've a match where we have to keep. It's kind of like hardpoint on Call of Duty. You have to keep this point to yourself for a set amount of time, and they will go, like the entire team will leave your checkpoint that you already have, that you have to keep to yourself, and I will stand there and guard it, and they will just go to the other team's spawn point and try to shoot them all down. Well, if they all die, I'm left at the hard point by myself. Thanks, everybody. I mean, that's just, it's one of the things that I've had issues with, is people playing for themselves, not a team. But I enjoy the game when it doesn't aggravate me.
Get a good team going. Not a bunch of douchebags.
Yeah.
And see,
I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead.
See, and that's the thing is, a lot of multiplayers lately have been like not really focused on the team. Everybody's going in there just to shoot and get their kill spread up. And now a game comes out where it's about the team, and people just don't know how to play that. So hopefully within a month or two, the people who are only in it for themselves will leave the game, and it's pretty clear that they probably will. And now then you'll get to like the team-based type things that a lot of people are more used to on PC. You know what I mean?
I mean, with that being said, you look at games like Dota and Heroes of the Storm, League of Legends. That is a very team-oriented game, and
right.
what they were trying to do is pretty much bring that MOBA aspect with having several varieties of different characters that are playable and the different type of classes with the soldier or the DPS class, and then the tank or a heavy class. If you look at Team Fortress 2, that's where they really started to branch out and say, well, look, this guy pairs with this guy pairs with this guy. And with Overwatch, that's really what they're trying to do. If you look at MOBAs or massive online battle arena games, they've done that since their inception, because that's what the whole game's geared around. It's team gameplay, so that way they really know, this guy will pair with this guy. We will, dominate this area. That's what they're really wanting you to catch on to and get with that game. And that's where they're trying to bring back the player concept to online multiplayer.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's sad that at least a lot of people on console are so used to not doing that, or just worrying about their kill death spread.
Well, and not to sound like PC Master Race, but I'm going to go ahead and sound like it. A lot of console gamers, they're usually the younger generations that don't quite get, if we work as a team, that we will achieve more than if we work single-handedly. Another first-person shooter that was real big on teamwork was the Battlefield series. Probably now, later on, it's not been as much as, let's all work as a team. It's starting to go wayside of, what is that, Call of Duty?
So, yeah, I mean, that can get really frustrating in a game when you just get like a shit lobby of players who just don't want to work together. And this is one of those games where you kind of have to, like Left 4 Dead or Payday, which I love playing Payday. But see, that's, you're only a 4-man team, so it's really like you need to work together. That's the entire game. You don't go up against other players. But on a game like this, I guess I don't know if it was the way that it was marketed that people didn't pick up on it as much. I mean, what do you think, Justin and Michelle and Carmageddon?
I played it when it was in beta. Me personally, from what I played when I played the open beta that Blizzard put out, I'd give it a strong 4.2. And the only reason I go 4.2 is because, you know, they don't tell you, hey, look, this is how the game, you know, this is how it's designed with a tank and DPS person and somebody to stay back and, you know, hold points. Another reason after the official release is the price. That's $60. I mean, yeah, that's the going rate for a game anymore. But honestly, Blizzard thinks that people are going to pay that much, even though they have, you know, they have Diablo 3, which has been their flagship game for years, that they just dropped the price on their freaking expansion from 40 to 20. You know, it's things like that that kind of bug me with games like that. But, you know, if you really want it, you're going to pay the price, and they know that. And that's the sad part about it, is they manipulate us for that. But besides that, the actual gameplay, it's solid gameplay. It's fun gameplay.
Okay.
The heroes are, you know, it's a little bit of a fresher idea, you know, having the different heroes with the different abilities and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that we stuck it in a first-person shooter was nice. Then you got to stop and think, though, was this just because they botched a game previously? Because they were going to release an MMO with some of these heroes in it, and pulled back and actually took those hero concepts and put them in a first-person shooter and just gave them a gun instead of a staff or something.
That's kind of cool that they're able to take those concepts, though, and lead it over to the first-person world, which normally doesn't happen. So I kind of dig that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, too. I mean, if you stop and think about it, it's kind of like, did you ever play Final Fantasy? I think it's Dissidia, which was a Final Fantasy game turned into a fighting game.
Oh, wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's for PSP. It wasn't very big, or PSP video or whatever. But anyway, it's a fighting game, and it has all the main characters and stuff.
So I gave it like a 4.5 because I do like the clarity, like the graphics of the game. I really like them. I like the versatility of the characters. It's just that would be for more of a person who primarily enjoys an online multiplayer experience only. Me personally, I play a lot of games for their actual gameplay, so the campaign and things like that. So I feel like Overwatch could have lived up to a lot more, especially with the introduction that it gives you at the beginning when Winston's talking. I got so excited when I first saw that screen because I was like, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to play this game and I'm going to fight enemies and I'm going to do all this stuff. And then it's like, oh, sorry, by the way, there's no campaign. So if you're looking for something that has more of a story to it, I would say that it's probably a 2, because it does in a sense kind of tell a story, because the introduction does let you know, like, hey, you know, we need to protect this stuff, and you go into the game and you are protecting things, but you're like, the introduction to me anyway, it kind of leads in that you're going to be protecting citizens from something, and you're actually not protecting people, you're just protecting like a checkpoint. So it really depends. I mean, it's great if you like the online multiplayer experience and like the 5v5 or, you know, something like that, it's good. But if you're looking for something that's more story oriented and less online gameplay, it's definitely not for that.
Right. Okay, what about you, Monkey Paws? What do you give a rating for this?
I would rate it right at a 4.0. I really like it. I enjoyed the gameplay and everything else, but it's like Carmageddon said, there was a lot of build-up as far as, oh, this is going to have a great story and everything else, and then there was just nothing. It was just multiplayer, which I don't mind. The multiplayer is really fun, but it had this great build-up to it, and I think it has a great potential to have a really good story with it, but it's just nothing there.
Right.
But I mean, the game's worth it. It's worth every bit of it. It's I give it a 4.0 for, you know, gameplay, the aesthetics of it, the different characters, different types, tank, sentry types, snipers. It's all there. Anyone who likes multiplayer and tactics would love this game.